In this wild adventure, cameraman Alexander Peterson travels to Park Ridge, Illinois in search for some of the most inquisitive wildlife in the outskirts of Chicago. The cameraman had heard from some locals in the area of the possibility that a raccoon had nested in a resident's garage. The residents had thought this because of hundreds of raccoon tracks and droppings found on the cars stored in the garage and throughout the rest of the building. The cameraman set out in late June to see this possible raccoon nest for himself. The residents weren't exactly sure where the raccoon could be entering and exiting the garage, but they suspected that it was most likely from a large hole at the back of the building, near an alleyway with many trash cans, which raccoons love to ravage. A trail camera was set up on a small bush near the large hole, and it waited to see what emerged from the building. Around 11 p.m. or 12 a.m., the camera had finally detected some sort of creature. Just what the locals said. What emerged was a gigantic raccoon. The raccoon searched around the area of the hole, possibly searching for food, water, or maybe even clearing the area for what would emerge next. The raccoon re-entered the garage, and the camera waited to see what happened next. A few minutes after the raccoon entered the garage, the camera detected several more creatures emerging from the hole. 5 baby raccoons, known as kits, had also been living in the garage. These raccoons were massive, and given the size of the kits, it looks like the raccoons have been living in this garage for several months, since kits take about 3 to 4 months from birth to grow this large, and take up to 8 to 12 months to be fully grown and developed. Raccoon families spend much of their life with each other. Raccoons live on average 2 to 3 years in the wild, and the first year of that lifespan is spent with the mother, until the kits are finally ready to venture out on their own. After exploring around the area for a few hours, the raccoons returned to the garage. The trail camera was retrieved the next morning, and the footage confirmed to the cameraman and the locals that there were raccoons living in the garage, and many of them. With this newfound information, the locals began to research how to remove these raccoons. The raccoons had to be removed because of how much damage they had done and would continue to do to the garage. The raccoons would not be caught, but would instead use a new way of getting rid of raccoons and other pests. A crew of pest removal specialists were sent to the garage and added a kind of trap door and fencing to the hole and other possible entrances and exits to the garage. These fences would allow the raccoons to exit the garage and not be able to re-enter the building, forcing the raccoons to find a new nest. The trail camera was replaced in front of the hole at the back of the garage, and it waited to see what would happen. The raccoons, like the night before, emerged from the hole, but after a bit of exploring the area around them, they realized that they could not re-enter their nest. Once they realized this, the raccoons began trying to break through the fence. The raccoons tried to break through the fence for hours, but to no success. The raccoons stayed for many more hours, even until daylight. But the raccoons eventually realized that they would not be able to re-enter the garage, and so they were forced to leave and find another nest. The camera was retrieved later that morning, and the footage showed that the raccoons had left. The locals were very pleased to see this, and more fences were added to the garage to make sure that no more animals could break in. With the raccoons now gone, the cameraman's job was finished, and he returned home. Thank you for watching Dinosaur Wild, and we will see you on the next wild adventure.